My name is Jonathan Walton. And if you remember nothing about who I am, that I'm from Broadnax, Virginia, is not important. That I go to Columbia University is not important. That I've written 3 books, it is not important. Accomplishments are accolades that we take upon ourselves, separating each other. But these things are just things that I've done. They would not be true if it wasn't for the truth that I know that is true for me and the truth that I know that is true for you, that we are beautifully, fearfully, and wonderfully made with gifts that no one else has. Think people that no one else can touch. Every single one of us special and unique with changes for the better that we can make in this world. I didn't always know this. I didn't always act this way. And all of us have these moments where our lives change, where our lives are redefined every single day. For you, it's something, it may have been a near-death experience. For you, it may have been a conversation you had with someone. For you, it may have been a sermon. For you, it may have been a job. But for me, it was on a motorcycle. So I find myself standing there, gazing into space. No focus, just blank, no expression on my face. No sound proceeded out of my mouth because words could not describe my experience. So I took a pen and I wrote them down because I lost control only 16 years old. Instead of the brake, the gas I did hold. I was propelled through the air onto new ground, moving without direction until by grace I was found. God steadied my path, breathed air into my gasp. He gave me another chance when it looked like my last because I flew through the air on a Harley Davidson, over an embankment and through parking spaces to the left. I leaned and then to the right. Then I careened to a stop as if at a red light. See, I should have been lying there, lifeless on the pavement, the subject of police statements, my face plastered on front pages of newspapers. But instead, I was spared. It's not your time, God said, and for me to walk without care be like exclaiming he wasn't there. Because I put fear in the ones most dear to me, but it also put a new fear in me. Not the fear of the motorcycle, because that is not the lesson. The lesson is that of all things, we must be respectful. On this globe, we have few moments, and in one moment, all of our moments can be stolen. So I must cherish these moments as they are something golden, but more than gold. Because you cannot compare life to stone. That'd be like saying clothes are worth more than bones. Hair is worth less than the comb. The kite is more significant than the wind that blows it. Glasses are more important than sight. The cause is less important than the fight. The ability to speak is more important than a deaf person being able to sign, I am alive. I must view life from a different perspective. Look into my reflection and begin inspection. Respect the blessings that I have been given. Be thankful for my bed, but be more thankful to have risen. This lesson I've learned, and now I must teach. It's my duty to tell everyone in this world that I see, don't be concerned about the price of your shoes. Because if you look down, you walk on 2 feet. Don't worry if you eat hot dogs or the finest beef, because on our plates before us, we all have something to eat. We all have something worth more than all of Wall Street. Could not be bought with all this world's currency. A possession greater than any wealth on this planet, a force stronger than any boulder pure granite. Each and every single one of us has life, an aspect of being that is not fully understood, but living is something that we all must do. We are all people, pebbles tossed into a pool. Every ripple I create, internal ripple. You so in unison, we ripple in a type of ripple rhythm, but we need to ripple in a way that benefits our living. I'll do it again. We are all people, pebbles tossed into a pool. Every ripple I create, internal ripple you. So in unison, we ripple in a type of ripple rhythm, but we need to ripple in a way that benefits our living. Actions that hinder our growth are unneeded, so we learn from our actions. They help us in succeeding. Mistakes are necessary, but all of our repeats are not. If a ripple that we make is wrong, we should make the ripple stop. So what will we do with our lives after God has opened our eyes? Will we turn our backs and hide from the light, or bathe in its radiance with an enlightened mind? And for me, that was that moment, by grace. For me, that was that moment, November the 2nd, 2002, on a motorcycle outside of an Arby's restaurant. I thought I was cool. I wanted to make money to buy things. I wanted to make money to make my truck nicer, to make my rims bigger, to make my system louder. I wanted to do that. That was me. Subconsciously, these things that I was working towards, these things that I was trying to please, these people that I was trying to make happy. And it all came to a stop in a parking lot in Southern Virginia, South Hill, where I'm from. I got on a fat boy, 1,400-pound Harley Davidson motorcycle. I put my left foot on, put my right foot on, put my hands on the handlebars, and somebody decided to rev the engine while I was sitting on it. The bike decided to take off. And when it took off, it hit the curb and it went into the air. And when it went into the air, I came off of their bike. And they said it looked like somebody grabbed us and put us back together. The bike hit the ground, the rear brakes went out, and the bike accelerated towards a concrete wall. This is the middle of a small town. Walmart is the biggest thing in a southern town, and that's where we were. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. at a Walmart, busiest place in a town, and I did not get hit by a car. Nobody ran into me. There was no collision. I just went up into the air, came off of the bike. Someone grabbed us, put us back together, put us on the ground. I accelerated towards a concrete wall, and 50 feet from that wall, the bike stopped. It stopped. And a week later, I scored 2 touchdowns in a football game the next week. I wasn't hurt, but I was changed. And it's not a near-death experience that something has to happen to you for you to take stock, to realize that every single day that we have is a gift. But it made me stop and think. And a year later, my first book came out because that is what happened to me. I realized that every single day is a gift. And I said, okay, this is a gift that I have. But all of a sudden I said, what about all those other gifts in other people? My gift, poetry, being able to speak, to write, to act, to sing. But all these other people working in unison. When I said we are all people, pebbles tossed into a pool, we are people and we're tossed into the world. But what would it look like if we all used all of our gifts together? What would it look like for me to be a poet? What would it look like for you to be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a stockbroker? What would that look like? What would it look like to have janitors and restaurant workers and healthcare providers that were working all for each other? What would it look like? What would it look like for people who love theater to perform? What would it look like for people who love to sing, to teach? What would it look like? I can only say what if. What if all of the gifts that we had, that all of us were blessed with, because they are there, it's a reality that every single one of us was beautifully, fearfully, wonderfully made, with gifts that no one else on this planet has. Nobody else can touch the people that we can touch. I can't say to your mother it's going to be all right. I can't say to your father it's going to be okay. I can't say to your children that I'm going to be there for them in that way, but you can if you choose to. We're all, every single day that we get up, standing on the edge of something great. Standing on the beginnings of something new. Standing on the thresholds of who we want to be.